Hi, this is Liam from ScreenSpew. The podcast you're about to listen to contains bad language, so if that ain't your thing, you might as well just stop now. Thanks, and enjoy. Hi, and welcome back to ScreenSpew. Okay, cool. So, for the first part, we were talking about the family feel-good film Midsommar, and for this, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, Far From Home.
Let's properly get into this.
So,
Spider-Man, this time we're meeting Tom Holland as Peter Parker again. This time on a school trip to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Starts off in...
Yep.
What, the year?
Where does he start again?
New
Just
York.
USA.
Oh, the US.
Yeah.
Okay.
After the events of Endgame.
After the events of Endgame, obviously, still recovering from that. Still feeling sad about Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man dying. And then they go on a trip, and it sort of coincidentally coincides with a bunch of elemental monsters who are tearing up the place, basically.
That's your spoiler-free.
That's your spoiler-free synopsis. I'm sure we'll get into the...
we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, so there's going to be spoilers ahead here, yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's probably what you'd see from the trailer. Mm-hmm. Jake Gyllenhaal plays the Mysterio.
You had no part of this.
Mysterio, sorry.
For viewers at home, I say viewers for listeners at home, Niall just demonstrated a classic Mysterio move. Not the fart, the hand movement.
That's a different comic.
Yeah. God.
That's Mysterio, M-I-S-T.
Nice. Missed. So, you said you don't want to. You don't want to go quite first. You want to hear our opinions and then thrash them to death.
That's not honestly no.
Okay. So, who wants to go first, boys? Are you guys or us or what?
Actually, you know what? Enjoyment level. What did you think of it?
Enjoyment level. I enjoyed this a lot more than Homecoming, and I loved Homecoming because it has Michael Keaton in it, and it was a generally enjoyable film. This is the first one I went on my own as well, which was a new experience, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, like from start to finish. I don't think there was one point where I was like, oh, this is dragging. And sometimes in a couple of films I do feel like that can happen, even in Marvel films, where it's usually non-stop.
Endgame.
And yep. So
just nonsense that's getting cut out.
So for the enjoyment level for this one, I absolutely loved it. And when I first saw that Jake Gyllenhaal was going to be Mysterio,
it's a new Starbucks coffee. Fucking hell! Sorry.
When I saw that he was going to be Mysterio, I thought, okay, this is a bit different. It's a bit of a different casting, and that's what I liked about this one. It was different to all the other Marvel films where we're used to for the last 8 or 9 or however long years seeing the same cast over and over and over and over again, apart from maybe War Machine. But yeah, you know what I mean? Though,
Where the fuck did that go?
In the first one, Iron Man, he was. It was Don Cheadle. No, it wasn't Don Cheadle.
I know, it turns out Don Cheadle.
But they've recasted a couple of people, haven't they, before?
But what do you mean?
So for this, it was nice to see that there was just a completely new actor that you wouldn't expect to see in a Marvel film. For me, you're expecting to see certain actors.
Jake
Gyllenhaal.
I'm not even gonna bother with second name.
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal.
So it was absolutely fantastic to see. But enjoyment-wise, I thought there was a few parts that were very reminiscent of Doctor Strange, specifically the hallucination scenes, or not hallucination, the projection scenes when he was making him see himself, and there was a very haunting scene that I was like, oh Jesus,
Iron Man bit.
Yeah, the Iron Man coming out of the grave with his skeleton face and stuff and hovering, and that was creepy and really well done. But yeah, enjoyment levels, I thoroughly enjoyed myself from start to finish. Yeah. Over to you, Connell.
I would say the same. I don't know if I like it as much as Homecoming, but I felt it was a nice note after Endgame, because a lot of people thought it was going to be the end of Phase 4 with Endgame, but it's the end of it's the end of Phase 4 now with the Spider-Man. I thought it's nice to see the aftermath of Endgame with this film, and also you see that everything's moving on, you see the changes, and it's a lighter film. I feel like the last few films we've had have been quite serious tone. This one was a lot more.
I don't think Spider-Man can have that serious a tone.
Yeah, no, but I'm just meaning this one was
compared to the last few movies that came out for Infinity War and Endgame and stuff.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I mean, Homecoming was quite lighthearted.
Yeah, no, I'm just meaning this is it's gone back to light, if that makes sense. With them big films happening, it's a bit more lighter. It's
from the sort of come down of how depressing. Well, not depressing, but dark it was.
Emotional the other ones have been.
Yeah.
I would say, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Can I just ask, did you guys have the Mysterio is, using special effects spoiled for you before watching?
I
the
knew
film?
it was happening just because I know stuff about the
I
comics.
never
I've
knew.
never read the
I
comics.
never
but
knew the
it's
exact
happening.
specifics of like what he was doing, but I knew that like
Mm.
he was like it's fake and everything that he was going to be the bad guy.
I knew that he used special effects and shit to do it all.
Because I know the film stuff. Like he used to be like a special effects film guy
Yeah.
in the comics.
I got it spoiled for me by our friendly neighborhood, Niall.
Before the film came out.
Yep.
Disgusting. Name.
Well, I wouldn't say spoiler.
Or
I'd
it's
say.
spoiled as in like the comics, like what he's like the lore of the guy.
Yeah, well, just knowing that. I
He's
mean,
not a good
I
guy.
felt like the scene in the bar where he's like, haha, he
Alright, okay.
gave us the glasses,
Yeah.
It would have been a bit more impactful if I hadn't realised, but
I apologise. I think a lot of people knew, like most people I've spoken to.
yeah, fair enough.
So Finn, how did you enjoy it?
I definitely enjoyed it more than Homecoming, but that might just be due to the fact I watched Homecoming sort of like in 3 parts.
Okay.
Didn't watch it in cinema. I'm glad Homecoming obviously wasn't an origin story, but it just didn't grab my attention as much, I think.
Which one? This one or
No, Homecoming,
Alright,
sorry. A lot of things in this film didn't really make much sense. They were kind of jumping all over the place, and I feel like there was things that I would have liked to happen, but would have been impossible in the MCU for that to have happened.
Like very dark and serious things, you mean? Or
No, just certain characters would have dealt with stuff that was happening a lot better than Spider-Man did.
right.
And I now realize when I was watching it, the bit that was annoying me was when he was like, "Oh, can't Doctor Strange help out?" And he's like, "Unavailable." And he's like, "Thor off-world, Captain Marvel, don't invoke her name." Like, I was like, "Oh, come on, that's just a cop-out." But learning that was actually all just projections, like, obviously he would say that.
was that?
Oh,
wasn't
no, it
Deadpool.
wasn't projections.
I thought you said
No, it's-
Nick Fury was off-planet the whole
no,
movie.
but
Yeah,
it's-
but it
it's
was someone
Cal-
playing him.
Kalos.
But that was all real. Like
It's
someone
real.
was there,
It's a shapeshifter.
so it's like a shapeshifter.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it did. I know that's a bit of a point. I felt like they were just conveniently not there.
Yeah.
That's
Not even one of them. It was like, nope, every single thing falls on you now.
Exactly,
Spider-Man.
and they
It was
kept
kinda like,
talking about how
really?
this was like Avengers level threat, so you would have thought one of them would have showed up, especially in a shared universe that's
Yeah.
so like these
I
people
understand
exist
that,
in
yeah.
this world.
You would expect others to show up if it was Avengers level threat. You would expect someone else to like.
The Hulk.
Exactly.
Where's he?
Yeah.
Why did he say don't invoke her name? Is Captain Marvel like a god now, so Peter Parker can't
She's
even...
like
She's like.
she because of how fast she can fly and travel in space, she can help planets like away. If you need her, you need her. Do you know what I mean?
So they didn't need her. So it's...
Not to that
okay.
extent.
All right, fair enough.
She's
Yeah,
a Deus Ex Machina though.
Also, they've got
Oh, yeah, of
Mysterio
course.
and Spider-Man. If they feel like they've got someone good enough to stop it, they wouldn't call for her.
Yeah, sure. Just a quick point, right? So during the movie, there's Mysterio uses sort of tricks to make Spider-Man think he's seeing stuff that he isn't actually seeing with projectors and stuff.
That the bit like where he tricks him, like the bit
Yeah.
where
Well,
In-
there's
in
that whole
yeah,
like,
there's like
sequence.
2 or 3 bits, whatever. I thought it'd be cool. Obviously, it would never happen if Doctor Strange showed up and was like, "Right, so you're pretending reality is warped. Now let's see what you think of reality actually being warped." And it would end with like Doctor Strange putting him into some alternate dimension with all weird shit, and he was like, "I don't like it." You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Mysterio. That's cool, but like, that's like
Yeah, Mysterio.
It's a
Also,
non-starter. Like
it
you
would
wouldn't
have been
have
cool if
Doctor Strange sort Spider-Man's movie out.
yeah, of course. Oh, and I thought Ant-Man could probably kick Mysterio's ass pretty easily because it's like, the projectors are too big. I don't have a projector that size. Oh, and then
Nah, but they could. Surely he would see it as well.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be pretty hard to see Ant-Man if he was like a millimeter tall and he was just flying about.
I like the introduction of the Spider Sense, or as they call it in the film, Peter Tingle.
Mm.
What at the very end?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
I would like a more of
he
a
was
sequence.
conveniently an expert at it at the end, though.
Yeah, I would have liked more like. I would have liked if they did that like how at the end you can see where the robots are coming from, or the machines. I'd like to have like they did a whole like mind bending sequence again, but you can like dodge stuff more easily this time.
I think the way I read it was
Yeah.
that he was sort of doubting himself because of after Tony Stark and he kept going, I keep messing up. And I think after the whole events with Endgame, and he felt like he'd failed Tony or something because he couldn't help to defeat Thanos. And then after he came back from what do they call it in this? The flip? The blip. After he'd come back from that, and he's like, "Oh, Tony's died. I feel like I can't live up to what Tony thinks I was or what I could be." So I think maybe that's sort of making him play on his mind, his whole focus thing. So when it comes down to it, he can do it when he truly like thinks about it.
It was also
So he was holding himself back.
Yeah,
basically.
sort of. He was doubting himself, but at the end, he was like, "I have to defeat Mysterio."
Do you know, like
So-
Mysterio though
Yeah.
as well, and when like he's talking to Mysterio, Mysterio acts like kind of not like a father figure, but like he also like replaces Tony in that aspect. So
Yeah.
like when he betrays him as well, it's someone else betraying him, and like I think at that point he just is broken because he's like everyone's betrayed him. Who like not everyone, but not like Iron Man's not betrayed him, but he's gone, and then Mysterio he's not got anyone to like.
He's
a
lost his
mentor,
way in the
yeah.
world, sort of thing. No
I
one
mean, maybe
to guide
should
him.
have delved into that a bit more. Because,
Yeah, that
I
could
know
have
you
been
mean.
nice.
It could have been nice if
Yeah.
he spoke more about it and stuff, but
Definitely.
Like that.
Which brings us on to you now.
yeah.
I thought that was like that's a big. This film was such a disappointment, like
Yeah.
on another fucking level. It is. I came out of it the first time and I enjoyed it. And you know what? If this was an Ant-Man film, I'd be like, you know what, fuck yeah, that was fun.
It's just, it's
I
'cause
enjoyed
it's
that.
Spider-Man.
Whatever.
It's
Spider-Man has like,
your superhero that you really.
yeah, I expect so much more from him. This film, like, I've cried at so many Spider-Man films. Not Homecoming, even though I still really like it, but this film lacks a complete emotional backbone. It throws away characters and relationships for just chuckles.
What do you mean?
Like, for example,
Just to see what you mean.
like Ned being in that Ferris wheel with her is just a joke. There's nothing, like, there's no character building there at all. In the original ones, it was like he's messing up, he's putting people at risk of it, and it's like actually hurting him. He's fucking up constantly, but he doesn't want to reveal that he's Spider-Man. In these new ones, everything's just for a chuckle. Like every scene, like what's Ned? No one knows anything about Ned as a
one's Ned
character.
again?
His friend,
You know,
The
his
fat-
the
fat
guy in the
one.
chair.
Guy in the chair.
Yeah, the
Yeah, he like caught
the
you
Mexican
from
guy or
Spanish,
whatever.
yeah.
Sorry, Filipino, Samoan, something like that.
These films have completely forgotten like little things about why Spider-Man's so good as a character.
I mean, MJ was just kind of a comic relief in this film as well, though.
That's,
yeah,
a,
but
that's
MG was like MG's.
I'm not saying it's a good thing.
Oh.
the whole thing. Just oh my god.
I think what they're trying to do is unconventional. Like they've like. There's been 2 attempts at Spider-Man. I'm not saying attempts because the other 2 haven't been bad per se, but there's been 2 attempts, and then now they're doing
Two
something
reboots,
different.
you mean?
There's been 2 reboots, yeah, and now they're doing something different. Like they're trying to
Second
maybe
reboot was
change.
pretty bad.
They tried to do something different
What?
by doing the Marvel formula of just chuckles.
What do you mean the Marvel formula though?
That's
It's not
what
the
they did.
Marvel
That's the
formula.
biggest.
They've
That's
gone
the
for,
biggest.
You mean they've gone for the Joss Whedon approach of
Yeah.
try and make everything funny?
Like that is literally what set the tone for the rest of the MCU after that, and it's changed with like bringing in directors with more of a visual flair and vision, like
I think
James Gunn and
Thor
Taika
Ragnarok
Waititi.
changed it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
quips.
I think they've forgotten a lot about what Spider-Man is as a character. Like why people love him so much is because he's like the working man's hero.
Yeah.
If he wants to pay his rent, but someone's in trouble, he needs to work. He's always going to choose saving people, and that's going to affect his home life. And they have none of that. Like how much more impactful would it have been if he like was struggling to afford MJ's necklace, and it was actually meant something rather than him just buying a necklace.
Because we had a discussion about this before as well, like a few days ago or the day after I saw it or something, and it was like the thing that makes Spider-Man a great hero is that he is like sort of he's not Tony Stark, so he's not a billionaire.
Yeah.
He has
Fucking hell,
to.
sorry.
You're
Let's
right.
get that out
He
of the
has
way.
to rely on different things, and I know I'm deviating slightly here, but the game goes into that more.
Fuck
Where he's like,
yeah.
I can't afford the rent, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. Oh, I got kicked out, I have to live on the sofa, I have to like do this and that. And it delves so much more into like what Spider-Man is, where he'll sacrifice everything he could be.
Yeah, totally.
He could just do something like devious without anyone ever realizing, and like with his computer knowledge, with his speed and all that sort of stuff, he could rob a bank, he could hack into somewhere and get money and be like, well, I don't have to worry about money anymore. But
Yeah,
he's so
exactly.
morally good and like sort of doing the right thing. I'm not saying he's a goody two shoes, but he's definitely like and you're right, they didn't really touch upon that in this movie.
That's such a big part of him.
It was just sort of like,
They've skipped
How is
that.
he
I know
not
I
a
have to do
goody
the right
two
thing.
shoes?
Sorry?
How is he not a goody two shoes? I would say he's
How's he not what's that?
no, I don't mean
goody
like, I don't mean
goody
he's like
two
a,
shoes.
I
I
don't,
would say he's sort of too good in some ways.
in some ways, yeah, that's
Like
his
he
his
is
hindrance.
not flawed.
Mhm.
apart from being too trusting in other people,
Yeah.
but that's kind of like a major plot point that had to happen. You know what I mean? Like, he's the opposite of an anti-hero, which is a hero, obviously, and obviously Spider-Man is a hero, but I don't know. Sometimes I just wish he would do something
It's weird though because
more
I
relatable.
don't know if they're going to be able to go back to like
Not
what
that I know.
Niall's saying.
Anti-hero.
Yeah. And he's still really young. Like in the game, I hate to go on to this again. In the game, he's what, in his early 20s now?
They went for something different. They went for later. They went for after the whole.
He's a
MJ
bit
thing.
older, and he's still struggling. So, in this, he's still 16, and it doesn't seem like he's struggling too much.
He goes on holiday. What the fuck, man? Do you remember in fucking Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
When he's like, he feels so bad taking the $20 off Aunt May.
Yeah.
And then he goes, he can't even pay his rent still, and he's like, I've literally got this to last week. The guy takes it off, and he's like, I'm fucked. And then he has to deal with the fact he doesn't want to sell pictures to J. Jonah Jameson of Spider-Man because he's creating Spider-Man as a villain. Do you know what I mean? He's framing him up as a villain, so he's like, but he needs to pay his rent, so he's like, I need to like villainize myself so I can pay my rent.
Yeah.
That's great. This doesn't do any
They've
of
missed
that.
that though. They're not going to be able to go back to it because Homecoming was like the closest they could have got to it because obviously it was the first one they could have done. But now they've gone up to like him doing Avengers Live. I don't know if they're going to go back down to like that, and they can't really go back to him needing like money and stuff because he's got the help of Stark. Obviously he's not like, but
They could still hint on it. See if they had a moment with him and MJ being like, well, what the fuck, like we have this now. That would be better. You've taken away a little bit of what is Spider-Man. Honestly.
They're trying to make everything too sexy, I think, as well. Like, his aunt is like, in every iteration I've ever seen of Spider-Man, game, video, like, sort of, like,
more like
other
grandma.
things. Yeah, she's like an old woman.
That's just for the jokes, though.
That's
People sick,
Exactly,
calling her
yeah.
hot
So
and
this
stuff.
this is touching on what Niall's talking about again, was like, everything's just played for jokes now.
They're
They're making everything young, trendy, cool,
Yeah,
sexy,
no.
and stuff, and it's like, I get what you're doing, and again, you were saying there as well, Tony Stark, he can just be like, Tony, can you help me out here, blah, 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 if he wanted to. But in, like, the original, like, sort of Sam Raimi ones, he struggles like crazy at
That's,
everything, and he doesn't have a support system that he feels he can go to because he's, like, ashamed
Exactly.
to ask for help, because he wants to help people, but he doesn't want to ask for
he
help
wouldn't.
himself.
He wouldn't want the money. That's like a thing.
Yeah.
In Spider-Man 1,
Yeah.
Norman offers him a job, and he's like, I don't want a job. He doesn't want the money
Yeah.
from him. No, it's completely Mary Jane and Aunt May as well.
Uh-huh.
Homecoming ends with her finding out he's Spider-Man. Homecoming ends with finding out that you're the parent of fucking Spider-Man. Oh, let's see how they handle it. Nothing. No conflict,
your
no
suit.
drama. It's jokes.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Packed your suit, thanks.
Exactly. Yeah, what the hell, man? Imagine your kid from like doing that
You would be more
after
concerned.
after the events of Endgame. What you could have had. Imagine if Aunt May didn't get blipped. Imagine she had lived 5 years without Peter, like traumatized.
That'd probably be different, though. Just watch your wire.
That would have been great though.
Yeah,
Adding
no.
this in.
Do you know what I was thinking they were going to do? Do you know is it Oscar Osborne or what is his
Yeah,
name?
Norman.
That's
Norman
Norman.
Osborn,
But
yeah.
what is the kid?
Harry's in the
Harry.
kid.
That's Like what I was thinking is during the blip he was going to be still alive, and he would go up 5 years like the other guy did,
Yeah.
and he'd
That's
join
possible.
the guy's like class, and that's how they get to know each other. But
Oh, yeah.
Saving him.
Did
Yeah, that would have been quite an
I would have
interesting way
liked
of
because,
doing it.
but I don't know. I thought it was like
Was he even in that?
No.
I'm thinking the next film's going to be Sinister Six. Maybe I actually don't even know.
I mean, who knows what direction they could go in any direction.
This film,
But this is because this is the new phase, isn't it? Now they
Now
could
it's a new
just
phase,
they could
yeah.
just do anything in New York. Like, I don't know, the amount of villains that Spider-Man's fought.
Well, they've already set up like the identity crisis next
Yeah.
film, but we'll wait a
But
couple
I don't know
of
what's going
years.
to be because there's going to have to be a villain unless everyone's just like targeting his family.
There will be
all
a
his
villain for
friends.
sure.
I feel like it might be more relaxed that one though, like not like a big thing. It may be just everyone targeting him though.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very relaxed.
No, but like I'm saying, like it's not going to be a huge threat. It's going to be like the public, like attack
Like
his friends, or,
Spider-Man as a
smaller
persona.
people. Like so, like what is it? The Vulture? He's obviously not like small, but like he's a down to earth villain. He's not like an elemental thing.
He's the
obviously.
type of villain you can go for a coffee with and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Exactly.
He's like a person. He's just like a person. He's
Yeah,
not,
he's not like-
a god or.
No, he's
Yeah.
like a scrapper like Spider-Man.
Yeah, so-
That's a fucking problem with this film as well. You know what, Vulture? Like you might say that part of his, I think it's your foot actually. You might say that part of his why he's bad in that film is because of Tony Stark in Homecoming, okay? But at least he has a connection with Spider-Man. One, he's very ground level. Like, he picks up the scraps of the fights from the Avengers films and weaponizes them. But even him being Liz's dad, there's a personal thing there with Peter. What's Mysterio's connection? Tony Stark again.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what the fuck?
I don't think we're ever going to get past the point where Tony Stark is not going to be a thing in it, though.
They will. They must.
Do you think
though?
Robert Downey Jr. was paid for this film
Nah.
No, he
for
wasn't in it.
having his picture in it?
Yeah, no, but they had his.
They probably have the right
They've
to
got the
use
rights
it.
to his image and
Okay.
everything.
Right, that's good.
If you guys were like, oh yeah, he was paid 10 million for that, I'll just
No.
Forget his picture taken. By the way, I don't know if this was a joke or not, but there was one point where Mysterio goes, "Europe, kid," and it sounds so much like Europe, kid.
Oh, because he's like Europe.
Yeah, and I was like, like, was that a joke? Was that intentional?
Hopefully I can watch that again and see if I can catch it.
I don't understand the whole hologram thing, because before he got Edith, right?
Right.
How did his holograms have weight to them, destroying stuff? Because I thought, okay, I'm probably wrong, but correct me if I am. So I thought that he had the holograms, and then once he got Edith, he put the drones inside the holograms.
He just had more.
It
was just like on a different scale.
With Edith, he had like all of the drones he could want, so he could make a huge scale attack. Like
Yeah, he had a
against
few
the city.
before. He had a few
like,
drones
a
before.
few drones that he could use like weapons,
Oh,
but he
okay.
didn't have much. So like that's why you could see it was just like in a square block or like a little.
Yeah,
river
that's
or
why you
something.
wanted.
But
And
then,
the drones have the projectors on, yeah?
Yeah.
yeah, that's
so-
why
And they can destroy things with the guns. That's on.
And like different weapons, so like kind of like
repulse
blowing a big
or, like,
blast of wind so that it looks like a creature rather than just like
Yeah.
guns. Do you know what I mean?
So like it can like move the water and shit like that.
Yeah.
Also, how was Mysterio like speaking to Peter directly next to him when he was obviously not flying up to the top of a building? You know, like there's a bit when
Oh, I think he
Peter's
must have been
sitting
able
on
to
top of a
communicate.
building, and he's and then Mysterio flies up and then sits right next to him, and he has a chat. So how did he, like, what is it? A drone just?
Like a
With a
speaker and a microphone
curving-
or something.
Oh,
Yeah, but does he not touch him? I swear. Oh, I don't know.
I know what you mean though. Yeah, I know what you mean actually.
He's actually able to fly with. Is he not?
No,
No.
he's not.
I
He
thought he
doesn't
was.
fly.
I thought he was
It's a
like
hol-
floating with like Iron Man technology
No,
of
it's
some
all
sort. or something.
holograms, the flying stuff. It's him, like, he acts it out and does the
Right.
voice for it, and then, like, they record it, and it's basically scripted the whole time.
I like that, by the way. That's kind of Mysterio. I actually do really like the idea that he's not a supervillain. He's just like playing
Or just,
around
like,
with everyone.
Yeah.
I would have liked more if they did more of the, like, trippy stuff. Like,
Yeah, true. Literally,
Yeah,
other than that,
that was
the
a
film
cool
has-
scene.
It could have just got a bit like oversaturated though. I think after a
Yeah, no,
while,
I know what you mean,
and then it
but-
would just be like a Doctor Strange.
not
kind
like
of thing.
multiple times, just, like, at least that time, and then the last time where, like, because when he did it the first time, that was, like, he got defeated by that. He didn't do anything during it. He's like he wasn't able to fight back at all. But then if he did it again right at the end, it would have been more like
He did
impact.
do it,
Did-
kind of.
kind
He
of,
did.
yeah,
like,
a
just a
little
little bit, like the drones come in and he like dodges it like that.
But you remember, he's like destroying the drones as he goes, so he's like has less to
but-
play around with.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
How did he get attacked by like a million Spider-Men? What was that? Drones like pretending to be arms punching him.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, there's obviously definitely how the fuck did that happen sort of little parts
You've got to,
all over with
you know,
that. You got to
yeah,
suspend like
completely suspend your belief. But
yeah.
I
It's
don't
a
know.
little strange. What would people say is their favorite, like their biggest strength of this film, or their something about it that they were like, okay, that really stood out as quite good.
Literally, that scene is definitely the best part
Oh,
of
yeah,
the film.
it's
We can all
strong
agree
as
that's
fuck,
like the
yeah.
best part of the film, whether
The
or not it's
projections
logical
with-
in the film or not.
Is this the train part in Berlin where he gets?
Yeah, he
hit
gets
by
hit
the
at the
train?
end by the train.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
That's my favorite.
I
Wait,
mean,
the train bit
it's
in
not
Berlin.
very consistent though, considering he wakes up,
Yeah.
he's a bit like, ugh, and then he's fine the rest of the
Yeah,
film.
because he wakes up and
He
he goes
gets
onto the
hit
plane.
by, I don't know if it's a bullet train, but it's like a
It's one of the
pretty
fast
damn
ones,
fast train.
Oh.
Like, if he gets hit by a train and crawls on board and is fine, then like, what is his limit?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
What can kill him?
yeah. What is Spider-Man? Is it like, does he
If he-
heal faster? and
if he'd
stuff like
woke
that,
up
or
in
is
a-
Absolutely,
it-
yeah.
is it right?
Fuck.
Well, I
If
don't know
he'd-
what his whole like.
If he'd woken up in a Dutch hospital and been like in a coma for like a month, I would have found that a lot better, I think.
That's why in films, like superhero films in general, they so rarely use sharp objects because you can get smacked with a fucking like planet, the biggest gun on the earth, alright, and you can just imagine flying back. But
Yeah,
sharp
if you
object
get
going into someone,
stabbed.
it's like nah.
Yeah,
Endgame.
Yeah,
they have done
that's why
that,
Hela
but-
was quite terrifying
She was.
because she was able to just throw spears at everyone with her fucking fists.
She was cool, but that
Yeah.
bland. I don't know.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
just
she-
kind of.
I think the action here isn't up from Homecoming, but it's just too CGI heavy. I
Jake-
feel bad saying that 'cause obviously like I
It
don't
has to-
Endgame,
it
which
kind
is
of
so
has to be,
CGI.
Do you not think one of the strengths
Nah, I don't think so, to be honest.
was
What do you
Jake
mean?
Gyllenhaal's interaction with Spider-Man in terms of his acting? I thought like the way he was able to deceive him like that was fantastic. People were like you said this as well. How did he deceive Nick Fury? And I've just realized he didn't deceive Nick
He
Fury. He
deceived Talos.
deceived
Talos.
So
He deceived
it
who?
wouldn't have been
Talos, the guy that
The
shaped
Skrull guy.
So
Yeah.
he deceived someone
From
who
Captain
is-
Marvel.
Yeah, who was like
Who
pretending
plays
he's
him?
Nick Fury.
Who plays Talos?
Ben
I don't know.
Mendelsohn.
Oh right. Oh, cool.
So it's like sort of he was
So it's-
able to deceive
yeah.
everyone. And that was really cool. I like the interaction between like Jake and everyone else. He seemed like a sort of Captain America-y sort of original Captain America like hero where he was I have to save my planet and because it's so tragic I've lost everyone I've ever loved and you sort of get taken in and by the tragedy.
Nice
Um,
contrast to Nick Fury as well, being
Yeah.
a
Exactly, yeah.
bit of a prick.
Yeah, he was just all over the place, but I think it's because they were trying to obviously work out how to act like Nick Fury and just went overboard with it. But then when the switch flicked, I thought that was really cool that he just suddenly went into just psycho mode
That-
in a way.
Wait, what was this?
That scene was like one of the worst.
Oh, that, no,
parts.
I
bar
don't mean
scene.
that, but I mean
Bar
like
scene was horrible.
from that point onwards where you're like, because he was like, oh, he got rid of me because I was unstable, and you're just like,
Oh yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
maybe you're not, who knows? And then like clearly everything he did from that point, you're like, okay, yeah, I know why Tony
Exactly.
Stark got rid of you now. It's kind of like, I'm going, kill me here,
That
over
scene-
to DC here, Batman Forever, all right, go with me on this one. Edward Enigma, otherwise known as
Yeah.
the Riddler, was like, he went to Bruce Wayne with an idea like, oh, like we can use holograms. Oh, holograms, yeah, there's another thing. Must be people who invent holograms just are nuts. He goes to Bruce Wayne. He's like, we could look inside people's minds, or like sort of project TVs into their heads. And Bruce Wayne's like, no, it's dangerous. You can't do that. So he fires him, or like they fire him or something. I can't remember what happens, but it's like these geniuses who feel like they've been spurned by people like Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne, and then go crazy. Like I kind of like the way he went crazy after that.
I feel like
It's kind of like a switch. He was
Yeah,
good.
but again,
evil.
they turned that into a joke, where he's like, here's a little 125 million project I did just to show you this today. It's barf, and then like they cut to Jake going barf, and then like it's the words barf on the screen, and it's like a
Yeah.
comic, and you're just like, you've made that into a joke as well. That could have been quite a
Yeah.
serious moment. where
It felt
he's-
very similar to Iron Man 3 as well, with Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
You know how it was like he's kind of in his shadow,
Definitely,
wanted
yeah.
something to do, and it
meet me
didn't
on the
go his way.
roof and stuff, and then never does. Sort
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly.
Yeah, it's
Like
people who are
Tony-
spurned by Tony.
I suppose in a good way, it's like Tony Stark screwed people over, and they become bad guys. Tony Stark mentored other people, and they became good guys. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did he pick and choose them for a reason, or is it just chance, or is it that he saw something in them, like sort of that was evil, like Killian, or did he just not give a shit? Is like creating villains just a product of ignoring people who could have been great?
yeah, that's totally his thing.
Yeah. So like sort of, because obviously he changes after he does the whole Iron Man thing, because he changes the way he stops making weapons. In fact, he doesn't. He makes more.
Nah, but he stops
He
like
stops
selling
making-
nuclear
selling
weapons
nuclear
because
weapons
they're
or
getting
anything.
anyone
bought.
else besides himself.
So like, yeah, that sort of change in him, like how many other people could he have helped, and that could have become good people that might have helped the world if he hadn't have just been like up his own
Playboy
arse.
dickhead.
And that sounds good in a fucking Iron Man film, but not a Spider-Man film.
No, exactly.
Why? It should have been far more personal with Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Say the father figure
I
stuff.
feel like
Maybe
they
if
do
they
that-
went and maybe if they went into like the father figure stuff more, they would
They
have
were
been more
doing that a
personal
lot
for
though,
him.
where
but-
like he kept on saying, "I'm your neighborhood Spider-Man."
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to do this. I'm not like a big superhero. I'm just a neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, I like that. And then Nick Fury's like, "Bitch,
Yeah.
you'd be in space."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but-
Just-
I like
That was
they
a good
keep
line.
mentioning it,
Good.
but they're not gonna do it. I don't know if they're gonna do anything about it where he is the neighborhood Spider-Man. Do you know what I mean? Where,
Nah.
like, he relies on the small people, like not relies, but
It's
he deals with
too
small
big
people
scale
problems.
now.
I feel like literally the end of the film was him. It was actually
Yeah.
quite like refreshing because you realise at Homecoming he doesn't do it. He barely does it in Infinity War,
What,
but he's
swing
never
about?
swung around New York
Yeah,
before,
no,
and he
yeah.
And
does
that's
it.
one of my favorite things in the other Spider-Man films was the
swinging.
feeling of scale and swinging around New
That's
York.
oh my god,
I
It's
could
like-
watch a whole movie of just Spider-Man.
that's
swinging
fucking
around.
Yeah.
Or even a game.
Easily. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic out now for PS4.
I think that scene, to go back to that scene, was like I don't know what was going on there, but I had a completely different direction with his character. So
What,
that was the
credits?
goofiest, weirdest bar scene.
Oh, the bar scene.
That was
okay.
the goofiest, fucking
that
weirdest scene ever.
Oh, I
Like,
know.
see when it would zoom in, the black and white, you'd be like,
Yeah.
to all
You
of
know when
them.
he took his glass, like he put the glasses in, he was like,
Why? But he's like, you said it, he's a psycho. Also, Jake Gyllenhaal goes, what is it he says? You know what I mean? When he takes glass up, someone
Yeah,
help
we
me
got
get
it.
out of this. He's like going
Yeah,
crazy,
I know.
and I thought, oh, this is gonna be like. I was thinking
Like
Jake
Joker.
Gyllenhaal's good, and before that, alright, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking, right, yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal for a reason. Then he goes all super, and I thought, oh, fucking hell, he's goofy. Let's keep with that, and they don't. They just completely drop it. Like I know he kind of has his outbursts later on, but nothing to the extent of the goofiness of like they kind of hide the exposition dump by zooming in the black and white, like as if that's a
And-
creative way of doing it.
And how it was a toast. He was like,
Yeah,
toast to
that's-
this person, toast to this.
yeah, that
If
was
he
weird.
cares that much about the people he works with, why was he like about to kill the guy that was literally working all the projections?
Yeah, that's his problem. That's his like. That's
Yeah.
why he's a fucking villain. But
He's like all over the place. Like
It's just exposition, though. That's
yeah, and he didn't do a good job of hiding it.
they could have like sort of. All right, in Jarhead, I don't know if you guys have seen Jarhead, but like there's a bit where they're watching Deer Hunter, I think it is, on video in like back in the barracks, and it suddenly cuts to this guy's girlfriend getting fucked by someone back
Oh
home.
yeah, I remember that.
Right? And then the guy's like, "That's my fucking wife," and he loses it, right? And there's this horrible moment where everyone goes quiet because they're all like, "Holy shit, the guy's like wife was getting fucked on tape," and then they leave, and then the guy cries, and someone takes him away to just like calm him down, and then Jake, like his character, just he snaps like he did on that other that part with what do you call it?
What at the end of the film?
No,
in the
no,
bar,
Spider-Man. Yeah, sorry.
the
Yeah.
bit to the guy that's
Yeah.
doing the.
Where he goes, "Get me out of it," like that sort of. He has the same mannerisms of like sort of losing his mind because he's like, "Guy's a fucking faggot." Like he has
Yeah.
that sort of demeanor, and I think if they'd have played on him just sort of being like, like you
Yeah.
know, fucking manic
Yeah.
rather than just
like
yeah.
crazed, but he
Sort of
was
like, "Hey guys, yo," yeah, and it was just sort of like, "Okay, it was such a strange change of." Maybe that's what they were going for. They were like completely changed direction. That you would just suddenly like did a U-turn back into oncoming traffic, and you were like, "Whoa, what the hell's going
I
on?"
thought he was
here?"
going to be like that throughout the whole film. You know when he does that because he was kind
Yeah,
of
but
pretending
then
to be a
yeah.
campy hero, and he's
Yeah.
actually a campy villain. Like that. I thought that would have been cooler.
Yeah,
I mean, he is a scientist,
Mhm.
you know, so it would have been
True.
very different and exciting for him to suddenly be like in the public
yeah,
eye.
Yeah,
He's been
exactly.
in Tony Stark's shadow for
yeah.
all those years. Like that was his main motivator, surely,
Yeah, that's
and
Yeah.
losing the program or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that he did the like the end credit scene where he does like the recorded tape. And he's like, Spider-Man's trying to kill me and everything like that. He's going crazy.
yeah.
I quite like that part.
I'm just curious where they're gonna go with
No, I
that.
know what you mean, because there is a lot you could do, but there's also like I'm just wondering what they're gonna do with it.
It just means there'll be a whole film where Spider-Man is trying to like gain the affection of New York back,
But
basically.
like it's gonna be another superheroes there, but are they gonna be good or something? And then everyone's gonna like them, but Spider-Man knows they're bad, which is like Mysterio again. Or are they just gonna be there, but no one likes Spider-Man because they all think he's a dick?
What was his main
Who knows?
motivation?
Spider-Man's.
No,
Mysterio.
What was his main?
To become the next Iron Man.
Yeah, he wanted to be
Yeah,
loved by everyone. Like
Because he was like, "Oh, all it takes is to be Flash and sort of, you know,
Just flashy,
do
you
this
can
and
do what you want, yeah.
that, and then people will just love you for being
Yeah.
a clown."
but that's what he
So
wanted.
that's
He
what
just
he's
wanted to be
trying
like
to do.
well, like he wanted to be loved. I think, but not like as like a kid gets loved, but like
Yeah, just like adored by the
Yeah.
public.
It could have been could have been nice if they, instead of having the elementals, they had like, you know, actors who were doing the you know, sort of acting out the movements of their villain that they had
Like
created
you mean an ammo
themselves.
cap suit back in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
warehouse
yeah.
or something?
Because the elementals, like, no offense, Liam, they look like Ghostbusters villains. Like, I imagine one fighting the Marshmallow Man. You know,
Yeah.
Really?
just like, "Rrr, I'm a big fire monster. And it's
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely.
just kind of boring to watch him zip about because they're so much slower than him. They're just, it's all destruction with, you know, you don't see any deaths.
They're not
So-
very interesting for Spider-Man to fight either. 'Cause it's not like
No.
he can hit or web them.
Yeah,
They're
I
just
There's nothing interesting
shit.
about
Wait,
a
what is
fire
actually-
guy smashing a building and you see everyone get away just in time. It's
is there
like,
any actual fighting he does against it? Because you know when he like smacks the rock against the
he
guy.
like swings like
But like
big
what
objects
is
at
what is
him
that
and shit.
like? How does that do any
I
damage.
think with the looks of it, he would like hit it and it would almost reveal a weak spot, and then Mysterio would go boosh, and then they'd be like, oh.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was just confused because like they actually chucked a rocket at it, so if it was a hologram, wouldn't it go through or something? That's why I was confused.
Maybe smash off a drone.
Yeah.
and bounce
Yeah,
off.
smash off it like
Or break the rock.
drone would
The,
quickly shoot
like
it
the
or
drone can
something,
break
yeah.
the rock.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
What about Peter and MJ in this film? Because I thought that was like absolutely shocking what they did. Because Liz was pretty much just a fucking plot.
What is it you don't like? Is it you don't like her or you don't like what part of that?
Well, just about to say.
Their interactions.
Set up and interaction. So Liz in Homecoming was
Is that the black lassie?
Yeah.
That was
Liz.
Michael
Yeah.
Keaton's story. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
She was pretty much just for the reveal at the end and a little bit of motivation for Spider-Man. She was not even a character, and Spider-Man doesn't have a conversation with MJ for the whole film. And his first Peter Parker's first line, this is, "I'm gonna attack like a fancy MJ." There's no development in the comics and shit. Okay, everything in the Raimi films, Mary Jane or Michelle, whatever, is like the angle, the reason Spider-Man does everything, his motivation, his main thing, more than Aunt May, more than his friends, more than anything, his main thing is MJ. And there's no development between the two of them. There's no setup. Why does he like her? It's not, he just fancies her by the get-go.
Yeah.
It's so unfair. Like in the Raimi films, no one sees MJ, for which they just see her as like a hot lassie, okay? And her whole thing is Peter actually gets her, okay?
Yeah, like she's.
In this film, it's none of that at all.
I mean, I suppose how long after Far From Home is this one?
Homecoming, a while, but then there's
Homecoming,
been
sorry.
all the Avengers stuff, so he wouldn't
Yeah,
have been
but
around.
I mean, he is in the very first sort of stages of getting to know her, isn't he?
In what?
In
Far
this
From Home
one,
or-
you know, you could fancy a girl in your class, and you're like, "Hey, I want to go sit next to her on the plane because I think she's hot and stuff."
Maybe maybe Liz. I think this
I
should
feel
be
like
this should be
this
more than
feels
that.
more-
Okay, yeah,
But
fair
it feels more like he cares for her a lot more. Like it sounds like when he's like, "I need to go talk to MJ." Like it's been a plot point for so long. Except that's the first line, not first line, but like it's the first part. He's like, "I need to talk to MJ." Like I know what you were saying. Basically, it sounds like it's just sudden. Like he goes for her now. It wasn't any
Because the
development from
plot,
like
yeah,
being
needs
like,
her to
"Oh,
be.
MJ."
Yeah.
She walks into
Her
the
as
room
well,
and it's like,
actually.
"Oh, I really like her."
Yeah,
Look
but
at her.
She's just an empty, vapid character, is what I think you mean. Like, she's just nothing to it.
No, it's quick.
You're not MJ. Like, it's not that she's not MJ, and it's not that she's a terrible actress or anything. There's none of that. It's just that you sort of like he just likes her because he's attracted to her. He doesn't like her because she's a badass in this one. She's
Yeah.
all like, I'm gonna say
She's
the word.
actually-
What word did she learn in
Bow
Venice?
or something.
Yeah.
And it means anything.
And the guy's like, "Oh, you want to fly?" Bow, and she's like, "Oh," and you're just like, "Gee, okay." So your thing is that you're just a complete cunt.
She's
Is
kind
that
of
what you're
got
saying?
Aubrey Plaza syndrome, you know, where it's
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
"Oh, I don't care about anything."
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
such
me
a-
so like attractive and cool.
But at least when she was
Does.
on in danger, which lasted as long as they needed it to last, she said, "Oh, I speak the truth because I want people to like me," or something.
Yeah, like it showed that
Yeah.
like she wasn't.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
That scene pissed me off. You know when you're like, these people are in danger. Cut back to our hero doing a bunch of stuff for 20 minutes or so. Cut back and they've like
yeah, just drilled a
cut
tiny hole.
one more centimeter. out
That's
the
funny.
door.
Actually, I think that's good. I feel like I would end up with the Godzilla thing where, oh fuck, Godzilla's about to cut back to a fucking television screen of some news reporter. I don't give a fuck about Happy and all them in the little thing with one drone
not-
coming after
I'm
them.
not
I would
saying,
care more about Spider-Man doing his shit with Mysterio.
But like,
So
That's where the proper shit's
Also,
coming.
why didn't Happy have something on him? Surely, if he's got like Stark tech,
Happy
he'd
is
have
just
some tiny like
yeah.
bazooka that fits into his like.
I don't know.
breast
It might
pocket
just be genuinely that it's too dangerous to
But
give
it-
out to
it
people,
is-
which is another problem with the film.
that he gives the Edith glasses
That is
to
just-
Tony Stark. Irresponsible as fuck. I
Doesn't
would
matter if he's
say.
the best person. Doesn't matter
No,
if it's Jesus.
exactly.
You don't give that to.
And
kid.
also, I would write a very, very long list of instructions and
Yeah.
give it to, write his name down. That
Well,
I
he knows
definitely
he
for him.
knows that Peter Parker is a genius, so he's just like, give control to this. Are you sure? Yeah. There should have been a video popping up with like, I swear to God, if you are trying to
No,
give
no,
control
yeah.
to someone else right now, you better not be doing it or whatever. Like some sort of warning system within the thing.
It would
Going,
be fun if it
are
was
you sure you
Tony.
really want to just give control to
If it was,
some
like,
dude
Tony
you
saying
just
it.
met?
Yeah.
Really? Like.
Like it would be funny if it was like Tony doing that though, like a little like holograph popped up being like, "You sure you actually want to give it to someone else?"
Like Tony had to have some contingencies with that, But again, I suppose if I had to defend that viewpoint, or sorry, like attack that viewpoint, it would be when Happy said Tony would always second guess himself. The only thing he didn't second guess was you. In fact, no, that's not even attacking that point. That's defending my point. That's like Tony was like, oh no, like the only thing he never second guessed was you. It's like, okay, that's cool and everything, but that's
you don't hand literally the most powerful weapon on the planet to a teenager.
Oh yeah, here's an entire defense. That whole bit where the drone's like, kill such and such, cool, okay, flying behind us. You're like, fucking no.
That is
why would that happen? Kill a civilian.
Worst part in the whole
Wait,
MCU
what part?
when they're on the bus, and he's
The bus?
like, "Yo, is he a target? Yes, he's a target." And
Oh,
the
that
drone
part, yeah.
comes. That's
like,
also just a complete copy from Homecoming of the instant kill suit.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill him, you know.
They punch Flash.
Did Tony Stark use those glasses at all in Endgame?
No, that's
No.
they
He
should
could
have had.
use the drones like immediately when Thanos attacked. Just like, right, drones all come attack that guy. 'Cause
That's you're right.
Was it just like a sort of, I'll use this if it gets really bad and Thanos was not bad enough.
You're
wait,
totally right. They
is-
should have had something for the. They should have used something that was introduced before to make it
Yeah,
not
then
just
you
these
could be
drones.
like,
Sorry.
oh,
See if it's like the Iron Legion, like in in Age of Ultron, he
Yeah.
like has all the suits that come and protect people. They
And
should have had
also,
that. They
it's
could have
also
projected stuff. That would have made
Iron Man
much more sense.
actually, yeah. Instead of drones, have that.
Never seen them before. Yeah.
What
Fuck
was I going to
knows.
say? Do you know the glasses? What is the purpose? Are they like just for the security system, which is like the drones, or is it like everything you can get her to like do this, do that, or is it just for the drones? That's what like.
It's just like an AI system
just-
that he
is it-
created just for him so that he can interact with the technology Stark has. But at the same time, it's like, why would you just have that?
There's a
Like
lot
to
of
give to
questions.
him.
though.
Why not be like, you're a genius, so take 20 minutes to read what
Yeah.
you should not fucking
I know.
do. But I suppose
Or
that doesn't fit
I'll
into
give
the
the
film.
drones to Nick Fury. I'll give this to Spider-Man. I'll give
Yeah.
him the Iron Spider and the suit-making jet thing or something.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not a jet to a 16-year-old, but you know, he could have delegated all of his will rather
know,
than.
I trust 3 of these things that if you put them together will give you the control of them all, but there has to be all 3 of you agreeing that it's the right thing to do. No, I'll give it to some 16-year-old, and Peter Parker even says this. He's like, why would he give this to me? I'm 16 years old. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, you're an adult. You clearly know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's putting his trust in someone he's just met, which is kind of
Two
stupid.
conversations he's had with him.
Yeah, so that's kind of stupid of him. But at the same time, Peter Parker's right. He's like, why would Stark give me this? I'm like a kid. I don't know what the hell
So
I'm doing.
what is the best scenario there? That Peter is really good to fit, and then he's just sitting in an office all
Yeah,
day
no,
using
he's not
drones.
Yeah,
What is the
exactly.
purpose of it though? Is it just meant to be like?
Fuck. Yeah.
Obviously,
fucking.
the purpose of it is to be a plot point. But
Yeah, it's just to
like,
drive a
think
story
it's gonna-
along, and
do you think it's gonna come up in the other like films where he's got the glasses? Or...
Well, they use glasses.
Yeah.
Glasses. Sorry.
My glasses.
Nah, I reckon they'll
Because I
they'll
feel
get
like-
get them off him straight away in the next film. To be
It'll be
honest,
like what I think will happen is it was Samuel L. Jackson's character. will
you
just
want
take-
him to be OP, and then OP taken away from him, and then
where he
him
gets like ground
getting
to his
OP
bare
back
bones.
from someone else who has OP, basically. I like the part where you see the Queen's Guards with the big hats
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What just
actually
Shooting with
firing
yeah.
rifles. Like I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I've never seen them fire anything.
No, you
before,
just-
And they
Yeah,
actually
walking
killed the
around.
drone. They didn't
Yeah,
just
yeah,
get
they
fired.
got
Yeah,
it done.
yeah.
Also, a bit I didn't like was, do you remember when he's on the jet and he's like, right, I'm gonna make my suit. So he's designing his suit. He's doing the whole
Yeah.
Tony Stark bit. It's
That's
all like
fucked.
it's all like
Mhm.
sad for Happy to watch him. Like, oh, he's
He's doing what
stepping
Tony
in
did.
a Tony's
Yeah.
shoes and stuff. So he's like, right, I'm gonna blare some Led Zeppelin because that'll
AC/DC.
really help. Led Zeppelin.
It's AC/DC.
It is AC/DC. He
The
says,
joke is
He
that
says Led Zeppelin. Okay.
That's
yeah,
my
because
bad.
he's like, oh, I love Led Zeppelin, and I'm
Oh,
like,
is that a joke?
oh,
That's the worst part about that scene is fucking.
He blares it like
Is
at
what?
100 volume.
What's
Oh,
the worst part?
I was gonna say, the worst part of that scene is like I feel like the message before you even fucking went into the film was obviously going to be if he's living up to Tony Stark, it's don't be the next Tony Stark, be the next you or whatever.
But like what?
You'll never be the next Tony. This is literally like the line saying you can't be next Tony. No one can live up to Tony. You need to be the next you.
Tony couldn't live
Pre-
up to Tony. So
Tony can live up to Tony.
Yeah.
Proceeds to fucking build a suit like Tony and play the music that's synonymous with Iron Man.
I think it's
Why would they do
showing
that
that
if it's
Tony's-
Spider-Man?
Tony's not
that's
dead, but
completely-
Oh yeah,
He
that
lives
makes
they
sense.
have the
on.
Avengers theme as well, which
Yeah.
is the da, 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 da.
Oh, that
I
was.
think it's showing that he lives on in Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is himself.
But
Like-
how? But what?
That is-
Spider-Man building like fucking big technological suits and listening to AC/DC. That's not Spider-Man. Why would they say
Do you
that?
reckon that would
It's-
be Spider-Man if he had the money and technology to do it, though?
Yeah, but Spider-Man is. You could be more. His gadgets have more personality about them,
He shows up and he's got like toilet roll fucking.
like protection.
He's just like, let's fucking do this. It's just like,
That would.
I'm doing it my way. Yeah, I know what you mean though. Like there was no. It would just seem like sort of he was just immediately becoming Tony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right after someone says you can't be Tony, you need
Yeah.
it next year.
Don't be Tony. Go
You
on, be Tony.
literally
See you
show-
later.
Like that's like I feel like one of the best parts in Iron Man was seeing him like messing around with all of the.
Yeah.
Doing
That's
all,
like
holographic
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Do you think it was too much fan service in that way? Then it was too much like people are gonna be like, holy shit, that's like when Iron Man did it, sort of thing. And do you reckon
Mm,
that's
kind
what
of,
they
yeah.
went for? They were going, fans are gonna love this if they see like
Just
that. He's kind of
nostalgia,
like
isn't it,
Iron
from
Man.
the
Yeah,
first
it's
ones?
kind of like going back to the roots because now they're gonna be starting a whole new phase.
Yeah, it was more for like see you later Iron Man than it
Yeah.
was for here you
It
go
was like a
Spider Man.
farewell to him.
One thing I'm like, I did like, is the the guy who goes up 5 years? Is his name Brad or something?
Brad, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the part where they get to the train station in London, and they're like, Brad's
Yeah.
like stops them all. He's like, guys, what the fuck is happening? Where the hell is like
Peter.
Peter Parker? Why is he like?
Why is no one
Wh-
questioning
yeah, why
that?
is no one
Yeah.
question? I quite like that. Like he was the only one questioning. Everyone's like,
Mhm.
nah, it's fine. Like kind of gave me the vibes from like comic books and stuff where like it was him like one person questioning like all these weird happenings and like all connected to Peter being right, and then everyone's like, nah, I can't. No.
The asshole kid from their class who's rich.
Flash.
Yeah, is he Zero from Grand
Yeah.
Budapest?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's I'm sorry, Brad.
Brad is stupid as
But
hell.
why? Right, so Homecoming, Flash in the comics, and Flash and Flash and
He's
Amazing
a jock,
Spider-Man,
right?
and Spider-Man. He's a jock. He's a big muscular cunt. So in Homecoming, they change it up and they have him be like just a little scrawny, like another maths rich guy, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they fucking in the next one have Brad, who I'm actually terrible at this. Then they have Brad, who's just like he's just the jerk other guy who wants MJ. Why would you?
but
Can you
yeah.
not have had
They're
another
to
character?
replace- Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I thought that they had Flash as like a little scrawny dude,
Yeah, I
because
like
like in this day and age, 2019, not all bullies are jocks. They're not all
Mhm.
big
No,
guys.
exactly.
You know, you might just be someone who like cyber bullies or just snarky comments and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't
Exactly.
have to be some guy in like a baseball jersey. Is it a baseball jersey? What's the one
Football.
that they wear?
I know what you mean though.
Yeah.
Is that
Baseball
football?
jersey.
Is that football jersey?
Yeah, no, the jacket. You mean like the Letterman?
Varsity
Yeah,
jacket.
I didn't realize Brad was was he 5
Yeah.
years younger than
So
Peter?
he was like this little scrawny guy,
Yeah.
and now he's a big. Yeah.
and then
I quite like that.
he lived through
Like
the events of Endgame.
Yeah.
I like them showing the change. Like I don't see, like the Brad thing was just stupid bringing him in and stuff like that. But I did like seeing that like they did talk about the change and like people have gotten older and stuff like that. So there is a change.
They fucking better off this is the
Well,
film
yeah,
right after
oh,
Endgame.
yeah, of course. But like, I mean, they also did like the whole homelessness part at the start where like Spider-Man comes out. It's like, hey guys, you know.
Homelessness.
I forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he's
so-
at that
and May.
fundraising thing for.
Oh,
homelessness,
yeah,
because
yeah,
people
yeah.
love to
Oh,
criticise
yeah.
the blip, 'cause
Oh,
And he
people-
shows up with a check and he's like, "Oh, hey, 500,000." It's like, all right.
pretty
terrible
much.
CGI.
He could sell like a millimeter squared of his suit material probably for more than that.
Yeah, but I don't understand. Like in the trailer, and apparently they shot it. It was the Homecoming, so it was the red and blue suit. So if you watch the trailer, that bit where he's there at the fundraiser or whatever, he's in that, and then in the film they
used
CG
iron.
in the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah.
Oh
I know, because like
Dunno
his face
why.
keeps like coming off with
Yeah.
the thing and then coming back.
I thought that didn't look very good either. I thought it's
No,
easily
I
the
feel
worst it's
weird.
looked in.
What did
any
you guys
films,
think was
so.
the best suit from the movie?
From this movie or from all of
Altogether.
them?
Red and black.
And from this film?
Blue and red.
Blue and red?
I
Is
thought,
there
I
when's
thought
the
Night
blue and
Monkey.
red one?
He wears
I
it.
quite like Blue and
in
Red.
I like
the
Night Monkey.
It
dream
was
Dream
kind of
sequence.
noir
Yeah.
Spider-Man, wasn't it?
What
Yeah.
one? Yeah, that is.
Wait, are you saying?
I liked it, but
Was that made by a scroll then?
no, that was just made
No,
by some
do you know
lass.
the
I
blue-
think.
Is the blue and red one
Actually.
only in the dream
Who,
sequence?
who we should have seen more of, but you know.
Is the
Who
blue-
was with Nick Fury though?
No.
the blonde one that's like, take off your underwear. And I
How
was like,
fucking weird was
fucking
that?
Yeah, who
yes,
was-
please.
Who was she though?
She was just someone,
She was just, like,
not Shield, but Nick Fury's Ava agency he works for now. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's
but
part of it.
I thought Nick Fury was off planet.
Yeah, no, but he still had other resources.
He's friends with
He
Talos,
was,
so he's like got him there for him.
yeah, because
Oh,
Nick Fury wanted- Nick
it's
Fury
not a
wanted
bad
holiday.
guy pretending to be Nick
Yeah.
Fury.
No. It's,
Okay, okay.
It's Nick Fury like basically wanted
I'm a
holiday.
bad guy. I'm gonna
'Cause
do all
at
the good things.
At the end
I
of the
get
film,
you.
you see him like get off a phone call.
Wait,
and
he
it's
went.
Like,
He went on a holiday to a different planet.
well, like I think he wanted to relax, like, be off Earth, not thinking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miyoko was too expensive that time of year, so he went to in a different
Are
universe.
there like nice sunny tropical planets and
Yeah.
stuff? That'd be cool.
Probably. I mean, the what do you call it? The one that what do you call him's from? The sort of Chinese guy from Thor.
Wong.
It's his planet. No, his planet's
Oh,
shit,
Thor.
isn't it? It's
The
like
Thor.
Chinese guy.
forests and crap. What?
The Chinese guy.
From Thor.
Yeah, the one that's not
What?
the swashbuckling one and not the Viking-looking one.
Oh, them. I know you.
Oh,
There's a
do you mean
Chinese
like
guy
his
in
four
Thor?
friends?
Yeah.
Is he Chinese? Was he Chinese?
One of them is.
The guy that fights
He's not
Hela.
Chinese. He's obviously not.
The first
Chinese.
one to fight
No.
Hela.
Yeah.
Ooh, you are dressed best.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
Was he Japanese?
Fuck knows.
It was like a samurai thing, or was it like a
I mean, he was probably something in Ease, but it was a
Yeah.
planet's name.
Philippines.
Philippine?
Do we know what the next films are?
Jupiternese or something.
I can't remember
Maybe.
exactly what he looks like. What's that? Do we know what the next film is?
Like the next few films are.
Comic-Con's coming up like this month or
Yeah,
whatever,
and
so
then
we'll
they're gonna
find out
announce the
then.
whole lineup then, I guess.
Yeah.
I can say we don't know what the next phase is, do we yet? With
No,
Phase
we
five.
know we'll have
movies?
Black Widow, we'll have the Eternals. They'll obviously make like Black Panther,
Doctor
Spider-Man,
Strange
Doctor
and-
Strange,
yeah.
Captain Marvel.
I can't wait for the next Doctor Strange one. That's gonna be.
I'm
tidy.
feeling a little bit that the next one's gonna be Captain Marvel.
The next film,
No.
like the next film to come out.
Not
No.
the next one, but like pretty soon at least, just from the end credits.
I mean, would they really have Captain Marvel? Like, it wasn't it Captain Marvel? Endgame Captain Marvel.
But are they gonna follow it again?
Captain
We
Marvel
have
was 2018.
Marvel
Did that come out after Endgame?
No.
Oh,
Before.
sorry.
before.
Endgame. I mean, sorry.
Endgame.
Captain
Avengers.
Marvel, Endgame.
Captain Marvel, yeah.
and then
Endgame Avengers.
and then Spider-Man.
yeah.
And then it'd be weird to do Captain Marvel again.
Yeah,
No,
again,
so-
it's because
Surely Doctor Strange, what was that, 2016 or
they
something?
usually do a spoiler, not spoiler, but they do like a little clip from, you know, when after credits they'll do a clip and then you'll be like, oh, that's the next movie coming up maybe.
Ant-Man and the Captain Marvel. Wait, what the fuck?
Ant-Man and the
Infinity
Wasp
War,
came out.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel came out this year.
Did it?
Yeah,
2019.
it was the first Marvel film. Yep, 2019.
Yeah, it was in January.
Because in 2018 was Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then this year was Captain Marvel, Endgame, and Spider-Man. Next year will be Black Widow, Eternals, now Gavin solo movie.
It's never going to end.
So what's everyone's ratings then?
Well, I would say rating and then how you would rank it in the MCU.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What do you mean, like?
Ooh, like between what your favorite is and what your worst is.
Well, yeah, or just the one above it and one below.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But then if I said like it was above Ant-Man and below Thor, where is that?
Where,
Bottom,
yeah.
top, middle, down?
Yeah, and then you could just say what number it was. Okay. I don't know. Now
Like-
you go first.
Bottom, middle, or top, or some sort of region.
Can I think about mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
I'd probably give it a solid 7, maybe 7.5, just from how much I actually enjoyed it. Obviously, the more we talk about, it's easy to sit here and like pick out little
It's
things
easy
that
to
like you
think
don't
about
like and blah
something
blah
so
blah,
much,
and then
yeah.
you start thinking, did I like it? But I genuinely did like absolutely love it, and I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was fantastic. So yeah, I'll give it about 7.5. Where would I rank it? Nowhere near Ragnarok in terms of the humor, but
No.
but it was still decent. I'd probably put that somewhere. I don't want to put it with Ant-Man either. I really loved Ant-Man.
Would you
Come
say
back to me.
it wasn't as good as Ant-Man?
No.
Who directed Far From Home?
John Watts, same as Homecoming.
Yeah.
What else has he done?
Cop Car. Kevin Bacon.
Oh, I was thinking Let's Be Cops.
Who wrote it as well? It was who was the writer? I was looking at what he'd written and I was like, oh, okay.
Can I just say, by the way, I'm so
Yeah.
grateful that the awkward dialogue between Tom Holland and Zendaya, whatever her name is, was nowhere near as cringe as the what the hell's his name? The second.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield.
Oh my
And,
god.
you know when they speak, it's
and Emma
like,
Stone.
it's just horrific. It's just them making weird high pitched noises at each other, and then kind of sniggering and batting their eyelashes, and then like
Are you serious?
saying random words again, and then breathing out really heavily, sniggering.
Wait, what is that?
That's
batting
just what
their
this shit
eyelashes.
was.
No way, man. It was way worse in that. Honestly, it was like quirky dialogue that is also awkward, but just came across to me as. I feel like they were probably in an actual relationship at the time.
They were.
Okay,
And
there
that's
we
why
go.
the chemistry was amazing.
I didn't think it was amazing. I feel like they just threw
Oh.
them together and go, okay, so you guys are a couple. What do you usually speak about? And throw in a couple Spider-Man things, right? Go. And then they were like, I'm really nervous, so we're not actually going to have an actual conversation. Let's just laugh and like
Really?
speak like a chipmunk at each other.
So okay, so I mean, ranking wise, I don't know where I'd put that. You'd have to come back to me. Connell rating.
Probably 7 as well.
Yeah.
I don't know about rating because I'm trying to think of.
Do you know
all the
what it's
films.
above or behind in the
He
MCU? for you?
directed Clown.
Oh, that one. Oh, the guy becomes a clown. Shocker. Shocker? Little Spider-Man villain.
Aye,
Aye.
nice.
That's so strange.
Gimp.
I don't know what's above or below because I'm not like. I need to think of all the films that are in it right now.
I've got like a list in front of me.
Yeah,
Any of
go
you
for it,
think
go
of
for it, yeah.
No. Like if you want to see it for yours, I don't have like a list like mine.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I would give it a 7.2 out of 10.
That's a very specific rating.
I would say it was probably
It's on our page.
one higher than Guardians of the Galaxy and
Craziness. Craziness.
and one below Ragnarok.
Oh my god.
I didn't love Ragnarok though, to be honest.
Really?
I thought a lot of the jokes didn't land with me. I hated Hulk in that.
That's funny. You chose two films that are fucking have so much heart in them and have the most director's stamp of maybe any of the MCU, and you put a film that like has absolutely no
Yeah, no,
visual
no, for
flair.
sure. I think I was just
A
really in
weird
the mood
sandwich.
for this film when I watched it, and
so.
maybe I've only seen Guardians of the Galaxy once, and I remember just being like,
Watch it again. Watch it again. Oh my god. Can you guys agree?
So,
Yeah,
so
that's
now that
Yeah,
you've
fair
actually reminded me that, I'd probably put this above Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say actually.
And-
Ant-Man and the
and-
Wasp.
which I loved. Don't get me wrong. And below, no, sorry, above Thor: Dark World, which I did enjoy. Like I know that's controversial. I know.
Below.
ooh,
No, above. Like
Wait.
Spider-Man, I'd put that above
So worse.
Thor: Dark
Oh,
World.
it's
No,
above it.
you
Better
said
above
it's
than it.
better than.
Oh, so I thought
But-
like
but
above me
below-
by one.
No, but below Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Really?
Yeah.
You're just a big Ant-Man fan.
I put
I,
it above Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Paul, anything with Paul Rudd, like usually, not anything Ant-Man, anything when
Really?
Paul Rudd's on screen
You like-
with sort of Ant-Man and everything. I just think he's just not too likable, but he's always like the guy who turns up in the Marvel movies. He's like, hey
Yeah,
guys,
he's
he's
a
like,
human,
I know
if that
none
makes
of you
sense.
actually give a shit about me or know me, but I'm just happy to be here. And
He's like the human in it. He's us.
Yeah, he's yeah. You can. Sort
They
of
are
project
human
yourself
as
on.
well.
No, I know, but I mean like everyone's like superhero. Everyone's talking
Yeah,
about like,
yeah, of
technical
course.
things, and
He's
he's
just
like,
the guy that showed up
guys,
late and went, "Oh, hey
what?"
guys."
He's one of the people who would react to a situation
Mhm.
a little bit similar to like
Yeah.
a regular guy would like.
I mean,
yeah,
wouldn't you say Spider-Man's that regular guy though? Considering Ant-Man's like a criminal. I know he's probably pretty.
Maybe
small
not in these
time,
Yeah,
films,
but Spider-Man's like a super genius. Like,
Oh yeah, I suppose.
what do you call him's not a genius, but he knows how to do what he does well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that makes him more relatable in terms of he's just a dude who just happens
In
to
Endgame, he was
be
really
good at
relatable.
stealing shit. Really,
who Ant-Man? Yeah.
Are there any like actual regular guy superheroes who are like average intellect? You know,
I'd
I
say
sort of-
Hawkeye.
right in the middle
Yeah.
middle moral compass. I would say Hawkeye's probably.
I mean,
Okay,
after
that's
after the
The
blip,
or
he
the
goes
snap.
The snap. Let's call it the
Yeah,
snap.
snap,
Let's
yeah,
not let this
thank
fucking
God.
fall.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
gonna
but I mean he's a massive badass. I mean that's someone
Yeah.
who sort of has powers but
Mhm.
I really like.
acts like a regular person.
I really
about
like
them.
Okay.
Ronan when he turns into Ronan.
I mean like kick-ass type stuff.
I mean,
Oh,
they just
he's
wouldn't be
just
there if they
so-
were.
I suppose it's not very Marvel, is it?
Spider-Man is probably the closest to that.
Do you mean someone who has
Yeah.
powers but acts like a normal dude?
Yeah, and kind of is, you know, scared of their powers and is
Spider-Man.
scared of other people and
Yeah, Spider-Man.
no, but he's ridiculously smart and probably he's like
But
Gandhi.
But he lives. You see him living a normal life. That everyone else, you only see them living like a oh no life. Do
Yeah,
you know
but
what I
you've
mean?
said the whole stuff about how he doesn't even accept money off people.
I know
and,
exactly. But
You know, like I think any of us would, if someone was saying, "Hey, do you want this amazing job working in the field?"
well, that was
you want to-"
Spider-Man 1.
Okay, yeah,
I
fair
mean-
enough. Yeah, but it's the same character.
I'd say maybe War Machine, you know, in a sense, is kind of like that. At first, he's all, we have to do it because it's the right thing to do, and it's sort of. Bucky is slightly like
Captain
that. He's
America.
scared of his.
War Machine
his-
is just Quip Machine though.
Yeah.
Like in the last couple of movies with him.
What do you call him? Bucky, he's kind of scared of what he is.
But I
in
feel
a
like we're
way.
getting a, like
Yeah.
Yeah, no, okay, fair enough.
like
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Mhm.
That you're completely right what you're saying. But then it wouldn't really make sense if it was just like a
Yeah,
regular
no, it was
guy
just
like
it was just a quick question.
Captain
but
America.
I don't
Thor,
think there is. Yeah.
Chris
I've heard they're planning.
with
Yeah,
spatula. Fuck off,
Well,
Thanos.
if you had to go with that, then that would be Deadpool 2 with what do you call him?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
The guy with the
Tax
With the right
cuts.
powers, but you know.
Yeah.
I've heard they're planning on making a Captain Britain film or something like that.
Oh, dear God.
I don't know anything about Captain Britain. Other than one thing,
He's British.
It's gonna suck.
he's actually Norwegian. But he loves Britain.
He's from.
I was like,
South.
what?
I don't know.
Okay, so now, Niall, it's your rating.
Um,
I'm gonna go with 5.
First of all, your number, like in like IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes or whatever.
my number, like my IMDb rating,
Well, like,
and then the Marvel Universe.
well, ours is mine is 7, 7.2 for Finn, and
7 or 7.5 for Liam.
7 or 7.5 for
Yeah.
Liam.
I'm
So-
somewhere between them. 7.25.
There's two ways to rate this for me. I would either get a 5 or a 6 if I look at it as just this is a fun film that I go to enjoy and just be
Right,
like,
okay.
whatever, blasé. That's what I would go to an Ant-Man film for.
Were you not entertained?
Exactly. I was entertained, okay?
So it's just average. It's just like it's
But it's
good,
not-
but it's not bad.
If I looked at it like that is, but then if I take
You're
a
not
step
thinking
back
about
and
the
then know
Spider-Man film.
what I know and feel about Spider-Man, and I know what a Spider-Man film can make me feel, and I go, holy shit, this film doesn't even attempt at trying to throw anything other than chuckles at you, I would give it like a 3.
Okay, also,
It's so light. It's like fucking diet. I'm sorry, but every other Spider-Man film, you said earlier, Spider-Man's like, he's a light character, but he's actually the most emotional because the stuff he deals with are more real than
Yeah,
like
they're more.
they're more real than like godly like shit. Do you know what I
because
mean?
Obviously, Thor will see like crazy stuff.
Mhm.
It's like, so anything like Spider-Man sees something like godly, he'll be like, Jesus, like it can
But
affect him.
It's so like in Spider-Man 2. I'm sorry to go back to it, but it's fucking perfect and amazing. It's not sad when like I don't know, some guy comes and attacks the town. It's sad when Mary Jane hates him for not showing up when he fucking couldn't
Yeah.
because he was helping someone.
But
It's
no one
sad when he
knows-
loses
no
his
one
job.
knows
It's,
that's the reason. Like,
but
we're
this film
we're
it doesn't.
We're not gonna have that with MJ and stuff like that
Yeah, we can't have that anymore with this now
because
because
MJ knows.
everything's too good for him.
But it's still light though.
Yeah, they
still,
don't
even
lose-
if you had something else. So,
you
Yeah.
still lose friends though.
but they don't. Even in Homecoming,
No, I know he won't. I mean, imagine if like Aunt May died in the next one, people would be like, "What the actual?"
it would be
fuck?"
so tonally inconsistent. That could
Yeah.
be good. That would be interesting.
How would you rate the Spider-Man films? All of them,
Oh,
top
yes.
to bottom.
Top to bottom. Right. Honestly, you guys see one? Spider-Man 2,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, don't have to say anything. Okay.
Yep.
Spider-Man 1,
Yeah. And like,
Spider-Man 3,
100%. Yeah.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
3 over Homecoming.
Yeah. The Amazing Spider-Man,
And that's your tough one.
Spider-Man Far From Home,
Do you really
And
not
Spider-Man
like
2.
The Amazing
Amazing
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2? You
No.
just hate it so much.
Is that the one with Electro and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
that was boring
Jamie
as
Foxx
sin.
is it?
That was like, oh my fucking god.
I
See
don't
every
know.
bit, all the bits you don't remember, and you're like, oh, I remember
Didn't he
that
like
bit.
fight
Those
with
are just shit.
dubstep and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, blah,
Yeah. Fuck, man. And guess what?
Uh,
That film had a fucking amazing scene in it. Like, oh my god, crying in it. Where Mary Jane,
Oh, she fell.
where
in it.
because Peter's spending all his fucking time like, what's my dad doing? What's he like? He's got his mind map on the wall trying to figure out all this mystery about his dad. And Aunt May's there like crying, and it's the best, one of the best acting in a Spider-Man movie. Because she's like, why are you doing this? I'm your parent. I'm the one that's looked after you since you were a fucking kid, and all you're spending your time is doing this and keeping secrets from me. Oh my god, heartbreaking. But guess what? In this film, we got Night Monkey. Honestly, fuck this film.
fair play, fair play. So
Mar-
where would you put it between your Marvel movies?
Marvel
What
ranking-
sort of horrible sex sandwich would you have that in?
It's gonna go in front of Ant-Man and the Wasp and behind Thor, which makes it number 20.
Behind Thor 1.
Yeah,
Thor 1 or
Mate.
Thor Dark? Or just Thor 1?
Thor 1. It's not. It's better than Thor Dark World.
Right.
Jesus.
Well, I
That
thought it
is
was, but I don't know.
shit.
What's your
I'm sorry,
bottom?
nah.
What's your bottom of the list?
So the list is just very quick. Very
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Incredible Hulk. Yeah,
Is
This
it
time
lowest
bottom
to
to top, yeah.
yeah. Bottom to top.
Obviously.
Well,
was like,
well,
I
make
was
it more
like,
dramatic.
Incredible Hulk. My favorite
My
MCU
ass
film.
just died.
Yeah. Incredible Hulk,
Yeah.
Thor: The Dark World, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man: Far From Home, Thor, Captain Marvel,
That should be fucking the
Ant-Man,
bottom of that cesspool.
Ant-Man, okay, which Ant-Man might go up and Ant-Man jumps up and down, okay. I think when you've got a character that can shrink, you get someone who's really quirky to do some fun shit with that and have some
You
creative
love
ideas.
Paul Rudd as well.
I absolutely adore him, but the heart in Ant-Man, the stuff with his daughter, I love.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, then
Doctor
I
Strange.
think this is higher than a lot of people have it. 14 or Iron Man 2, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Captain America: First Avenger, Black Panther. Now we're getting into the top 11. These are all like fantastic. Iron Man 3, then First Avengers, Guardians 2 8, Spider-Man Homecoming's 8, Guardians 2 7, Thor Ragnarok 6, Guardians 1 5, Iron Man 1 4, and then the top 4 I just can't choose between. Honestly, I don't like ranking them. So Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Civil War, and Endgame. Can't touch them.
Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier's fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's
Great movie.
there you go. Look at that. Look at every single scene when Steve and Bucky have a fight in that fucking hurts because he's his
They're
best
fighting to,
friend.
like, help each other.
He wants to help him, but he's trying to kill him. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. That's
Wait, is this
personal.
Winter
Soldier, yeah.
I think the best bit in that was when Captain Fury, Nick Fury's getting like messed up in his like insane Jeep
That
thing,
is fucking great. That
and
is,
he's proper like
You could-
using all the different like
my God.
gadgets on it.
Like
Charge
broken
you
arm,
that.
and he's just like fucking.
yeah,
Drive that you're told that is brilliant.
Putting up,
That's
like, the
better
armor
than like
plating and
most
stuff.
car scenes in the Fast and Furious films.
Also, that could be in like I don't know a Mission Impossible movie or something. It's not
yeah,
even.
yeah.
It's not even proper. There's a huge monster like descending on the
No, you're
city
right.
type thing. It's more like a guy's just driving.
I'm
through
getting fucked
traffic
up
trying
like
to get the
No,
fuck
totally.
out of there. Yeah.
totally.
The bit where he's fighting at the very end of Winter Soldier was one of my favorite fights in all of the
What, in
Marvel
that, like,
universe.
Cap versus Winter Soldier.
Cap, Iron Man, and
A
That's
Civil War.
is that Civil War?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Civil
Oh
War, yeah.
shit! Yeah. Okay. So that's one of my favorite fights.
Oh,
scenes
that
in
is
the
So,
whole-
like,
fucking
2-on-1 fight.
fantastic.
It's
Whereas,
just
like,
so you're like,
yeah.
Jesus, this is brutal.
Oh
Because
my
usually
God.
you get someone punched and they're like, oh, and they fly through like 20 feet of titanium, and you're like,
Yeah, exactly.
bullshit, and they get up and they're like, huh, and they're like straight back in. This, it was like getting punched, and then when gets his shield and smashes his like sort of
The
face
arc,
mask in,
yeah.
and then and you're just like, holy shit,
That is so fat. Like
it's so brutal and
Rem-
it's so hard.
Cap's like,
Yeah.
Tony didn't know what he's doing. I don't care. He killed my mom. That's like all of us would feel like that. in
Yeah,
that
because
fucking moment.
he doesn't care anymore. He's not working on like some compass or anything. He's just rage. He's just
Oh.
that's all he can see, which is fine because that's what most
That's
of
what
us would
you would
like.
react. You wouldn't be like.
No,
You
man.
wouldn't think
Yeah.
of the rational thing being like he was brainwashed and everything like that.
Yeah, you don't
No.
care. You just want revenge, and that's like a human
It's
side of
so
Stark
many-
that you never see usually.
So many emotions because it's not just
I did like the
my
shot
mum.
at the
So
end
what
of
happened when my mum's a lie? He killed my mum,
Mm-hmm.
but also my friend, my comrade who I trust is
Yeah.
a fucking liar. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Captain America, all of that going into one.
I
That's
do like
that's
the-
fuel. That's personal. That's fuel. That's let's fucking go. That's yes. And the fact that they're both fucking heroes and you could see either side to it. That's
But they never fully close that loop. I like that.
what
Yeah,
that,
so
that you
there's
can,
Iron
you
Man
can't
and
heal
Cap-
that wound. That's
Iron
not
Man-
like that. We're
I
past
know,
that.
yeah.
It'll
Iron
always
Man
be there.
and Cap like never
The
go
only-
into that ever again.
They only
Properly.
they only heal it
I like
in
that.
Endgame, don't they?
They have a fight. They have like a proper argument at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, because they don't really see each other. Do they see each other in Infinity War?
No, not
Yeah,
at
I
all.
don't think they did.
It's
no.
not really the conversation you want though. I would say in
No.
I
Endgame,
guess it's weird. 'cause
where
it
they
kind
where
of
they start
such a-
speaking. Yeah, it was like we had a whole movie where we were
bunch of
going
movies.
against each other, and then it's like he's just kind of pissed at everyone in the room, and Cap happens to be there type
Yeah.
thing. Would it be nice if they had a little, they're so good at doing one-liners and stuff. He could have made some snarky comment at him, like and he's here or something. I don't know.
Wait, who? Tony? But that's just like Infinity War is. It's like from Spider-Man 2 when Harry's about to kill Peter and he finds out it's Peter and he's like no, and he's like you killed my father. He's like tell me where Doc Ock is. There's bigger threats than me and you. There's bigger things than me and you right now. I feel like for them having an argument right after Infinity War where all of them fucking died would be
Yeah,
out of
fair
place.
enough. I don't know, but there was a whole film about it. I feel like they could have just made one little quip at each other, and that would have been me satisfied.
Maybe I would rather a conversation than a quip. I feel like don't undermine. I feel like
Wait,
I don't know.
what
What
was-
are your guys' thoughts on Far From Home and the fact that at the beginning of it they have that like homemade film for the memorial
enjoyed
for
that.
Avengers
I
Endgame
thought it was hilarious when the Comic Sans
It's
font
like
appeared
Getty
on the
images.
screen. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what
and the
fuck is
JPEG
this?
Yeah, get
Yeah,
images.
get images.
Yeah, it's
that's
got
it.
like when Fergus is telling us that, make sure you get high res images because when you get them and you project them onto a big screen,
Yeah.
it's awful. And they just horrible pixelated. They've clearly saved it as a low res image and it's just zoomed in. It's fantastic. I thought that
Well,
was
and it
really well
plays-
done.
And
Yeah. I'm kind of conflicted on it because I think it's a really smart idea
Mhm.
taken from Homecoming. But I don't feel like undermining
Mm.
Endgame. The events.
It's
from it.
it's sort of, it's like Connell was saying though. It's like with how drab you felt after the loss and everyone and stuff. You sort of feel like that was a nice way to go. Okay, that's bye to Tony, because we've always said bye to him. If we started with a serious Tony's dead moment in this, you would be like, oh fucking hell, more dread. They just did it in a sort of, yeah, we know Tony's dead, like sort of joking about, fucking it didn't fucking stand. He's gone. That's it. That was a great way of doing it, like sort of getting past it. Like,
True. There was also, I liked in the school they had like the kids had obviously coloured in pictures of
Memorials
Iron Man
and
and stuff.
That's
It's
cool.
like if someone had literally saved the universe,
yeah.
or
Totally.
you know, you would think of them as like a god, especially if they
right.
died. They'd be a martyr. So you would, you know, you'd get the kindergarten kids to all like draw in the pictures of them, like, oh, thank Iron Man when you go to bed and stuff like that.
And when they say, when he says when Spider-Man and Mysterio first meet, and they're talking about mythologies, and he's like, yeah, myths never used to be real. And then when I study Thor in my physics class, it's cool how like those big events have actually affected. You can imagine effect, and they basically plant a little seed in there for potential heroes and villains in the future. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean,
I hate that thing.
Why?
Though, about the whole like, to us it's magic, to you it's science. It's like,
no, I'm not talking about Thor. I'm talking about
Come
when
on.
when in Spider-Man when he says that. When he says to Mysterio, "Oh, we now learn about heroes and shit."
no, but if we're studying Thor in science, and he's like going through giant rainbow portals to other worlds and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, it's actually very simple. We can just use this element and this element to put them together, and then
Right, but that I would say that's more Thor than Spider-Man. But like, come on, imagine. It's hard to believe that with all this shit going on in the world, and they're still fucking learning about how like a hamster's toenail works. Like really?
Oh, yeah,
There's
no,
bigger fucking
no,
things.
of
To
course.
worry about.
yeah.
Like they're like adapting.
I mean, if Tony made a new element himself, like they're gonna
Yeah,
study
in a
that
basement.
stuff.
And
Yeah.
shit.
Helpless
Say
and
on
hilariously
top of it.
outgunned.
So, in conclusion, I'm not saying you're outnumbered, but I'm saying it was 3 people who thought it was alright, and then 1 person in Nile that where you thought it was just
It fell flat.
terrible. Not terrible, but just not Spider-Man.
No,
It
this
just
was
wasn't a
diet.
Spider-Man movie. Yeah, it was like a sort of Poundland Spider-Man.
You don't need to make Spider-Man a light fucking mint after Endgame. He is heart. I would say the most heart of any of them.
They had a potential to sort of... Do you reckon maybe that's what it was? They just sort of went...
Maybe.
Endgame was meant to be the end, but here's the Spider-Man movie, here you go. They just like tossed us a little fucking token.
Yeah.
There's a film. Shut up.
Exactly. No,
It's
no.
like, alright.
It was fun though,
Yeah,
and
I
the
enjoyed
villain
it.
was fresh. I
Yeah.
thought the acting was good. You know,
I do. Yeah.
the first half was completely different to the second half.
Oh, first half was fucking shocking.
The CGI was good.
Just didn't feel like Spider-Man to you.
It was kind of a
No.
high school movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just safe to be.
It was
to me,
like
just
weird
safe.
though because it was like big villain threat, back to like me trying to get MJ. Big villain threat, back to me going like, right, I've got to get MJ again. It was like,
Yeah.
It was like an inconvenient. I suppose that kind of works actually, because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this end of the world thing is so inconvenient. But he's right. He was like, I'm not built for this sort of shit.
Yeah, and it's
It's
kind
like-
of got
yeah, because he says,
huge stakes have got in the way of his little stakes.
it's like I'm like,
Yeah.
I like I know it sounds selfish, but I just wanted the summer to be about me, or
Mhm.
like not about me, but
I just wanted a holiday.
yeah.
Like the one moment where, here, like we're cutting that out. The one
One
moment
moment where
where Spider-Man breaks and he snaps at Happy for a second, then he apologizes. Is the only is the only bit we get like a little bit of that tingly stuff in the heart and. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
next topic, which is an interesting movie that Finn
You
has
don't know
been-
anything about.
I've looked up a bit of it now.
So Coherence is, I think it was from 2014. That's just a massive guess.
It is
Really low
2014,
budget
okay.
film,
No,
mostly improvised, kind of
2013.
big concept, low budget type sci-fi film. I've been wanting these guys to see it for a while. It's really short, kind of confusing, and yeah, hopefully we can have a decent chat about it afterwards.
Can't wait for it. Okay, so bye from me, Liam. Say bye, Niall.
Bye,
2013.
Say bye, Finn.
Goodbye.
And say bye, Connell.
Ciao.
Did one of you guys fart, by the way?